What's up everybody, this is DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at the WZ-120, the Tier 9 Chinese medium tank. So, this tank here, this is actually my first game by the way, this is the first game I ever played in WZ-120, and something I should just point out immediately about this here is I have the top 122 mounted for this game, as well as the top turret. If you're wondering how I was able to do that there, well, the turret is because of free XP, because I had a ton of free XP at one point, and I decided, you know what, I have nothing to use this free XP on, so I didn't have the WZ-120 unlocked at this point. I actually had forgotten I'd done this. So I spent the free XP to unlock the turret on this thing. Did not unlock the tracks though, which means I can't actually use a gun lane drive on this thing at the moment. Which means my aiming, my gun handling is compromised to an extent. But overall, it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference from my experience in this game at least. So the turret was free XP, as I just said, but the gun. Something that's interesting about the Chinese medium line is you can actually make your grind a lot easier by going through the heavy tank line first. First reason for this is, well, the IS-2, the Tier 7 heavy tank, uses the same gun as the Tier 7 medium tank. Well, the stock gun for the IS-2 is the top gun for the Tier 7 medium. As for Tier 8, the Tier 8 uses, I believe, the top gun or the middle gun from the Tier 7 heavy tank, and then Tier 9 uses the top gun from the Tier 8 heavy tank, and uses the top gun from the Tier 10 heavy tank. So it's a bit of a weird situation, but it's pretty interesting at the same time. But yeah, first shot of the game, 389 damage into the T-44, and here you're going to see me kind of make a couple of mistakes here. First off, I put a shot straight into the dirt in front of me. I take a couple of hits from the Schwarzpanzer. I also take a hit from the T-44. I, at this point, was just feeling like, this game's gonna be crap, isn't it? Then that shit happened, and that cheered me up massively. I was just like, oh my god, is he really gonna die in one shot? That he just died from one shot from me. I was so, that cheered me up massively, and that made me, change my opinion on what this game was gonna be like. I had honestly just thought this game was gonna be awful after I took a bunch of hits from the Schwarzpanzer and the T-44, but after that, I was just like, you know what? Let's go for this here. Let's see how good we can make this game. So Schwarzpanzer's right over there, he's on full HP, roll around the corner, not really giving too much of a shit at the moment. Gonna roll straight up towards him, Prima Victoria's gonna get a shot into him here now. The Schwarzpanzer gets a shot into him in return. Roll up the hill, as soon as my gun's loaded, as soon as my gun suppression is good enough, I stick a shot into Schwarzpanzer and end his game. So here I actually think I made a slight mistake. I think the Borsig actually panic shot there. Because, well, I think he probably saw me coming up the hill and wanted to get a shot off as quick as possible. Borsig fires and hits the CDC, so I'm thinking I want to roll around this corner as quick as possible. Prima Victoria's kind of blocking me a little bit here, so I stop and fall back and get shot into the Borsig, which, well, takes off a significant amount of his health, and the CDC is able to get his revenge. So now we see here there's a T-25 AT right up there around the corner. So here I wasn't really sure what to do about this here. I was thinking, do I go to the left or go to the right? Well, I decided to go to the right because I see that he is actually coming this direction. And he has 3 monster accidents on his gun. Doesn't matter though, because, well, I just did that to him. So, KV-13, next tank. 415 health, 440 alpha damage gun. This should be a one-shot kill. Let's go forward and see what happens. Huh. RNG, why you do this? Well, at least I bounced a shot from him. So, I didn't take any damage in return from that there. I just got kind of trolled by RNG. So an Oho over there, he's on pretty much, well, he is on full HP, so I decided to head towards him. Let's see. I'm kind of looking over to the right here, kind of being aware, because I know artillery's still alive, because, well, he hit me and knocked out my commander at one point. So, here I see an opportunity. So, I immediately start aiming at his rear drive wheel, because that will allow me to track him, and by the way, this is an advantage that a lot of people overlook about these sorts of tanks. A lot of people don't take into account that these things have the ability to do critical damage to a greater extent than smaller caliber guns. So I tracked this Oho and I got a bunch of spotting damage from other people shooting at him because I was the one to track him and basically make sure he couldn't actually move his tank. So that's a sneaky way of farming extra base XP, or just extra XP in general. Whenever you're playing World of Tanks, if you see an opportunity to shoot somebody who's not looking at you in the tracks and do damage at the same time, there's really no harm in doing that there. As long as you know you're going to penetrate, there's really no harm in doing it. You're only going to make your own game better. So this Tiger P here is on 276 health. I'm going to roll up here, take a shot on the move, and end his game. And Tortoise is right over there. And initially I was thinking I might be able to go for him, but then WZ-111 just ends him. So right now there's two people left on the enemy team. There's a Centurion 7-1 and there's the artillery. The artillery, we have no idea where he is. Centurion 7-1, we see he's over there. The Crusader was just spotted and he's up in the opposite side of the map from me, so I was never going to get a shot into him. Our artillery is actually going shotgun mode, looks like. It's actually going towards the going towards the Centurion 7-1. I'm going to take a wee shortcut here, try and get to a position where I can cut off the Centurion so he can't actually run away from me. I'll go ahead down here. I wasn't sure what I was expecting to be. He's right in front of me. He turns to look at me. He bounces a shot off my turret. I stick a shot into his side. And that's the end of the match. So it's 5 kills, 4,462 damage, and 1,060 damage blocked by my armor in a tier 9 medium tank. And that was my first ever game in this tank. Now, for me, I've always kind of liked vehicles like this here. Fast vehicles with pretty devastating guns. I do like them to have some armor, though. I don't mind dealing with the shady gun depression, providing they have some armor, which this thing thankfully does have. And I think this thing's going to get pretty much the same armor model as a Type 59 when it gets converted to HD next patch. I'm going to have to double check that, but if it does get that, then I think that would mean this thing would have 80 side armor, which would make this thing a little bit more versatile well, just in general in games of World of Tanks. So if that happens, that would be pretty awesome. It would make this thing pretty tanky for the most part, honestly. So let's see. Anything else I really need to mention? Well, the gun, pretty potent, and as you saw there, pretty heavy hitting, because there was one shot in there to the OHO where I did 511 damage in a single shot. So do not underestimate these things. These things can hit like a truck. But yeah, let's go on to the post-game stats before I start rambling. Okay, so now we're here with the post-game stats. So this game was with an ace tanker, and as you can see, that was like it has a little thing here that indicates the first one you've gotten. High caliber, a bond for the high caliber, 2,500 XP, but that's doubled, and 42,159 credits, and also mission crucial, whatever that is. And let's see, team scores. 1,255 base XP, so that's it without the any of the modifiers or anything got there. 4,462 damage, 5 kills, and the second highest damage on my team was actually the WZ-111-14, and the second highest damage overall was actually the Tortoise. So that's pretty interesting to see, because from my experience, the Tortoise was actually a pretty difficult vehicle to do well in, and interestingly enough, the KV-13, which I got kind of robbed of the kill. Well, wait, is that the right way to word that? I was robbed of the kill of the KV-13? That might be a better way of wording it. I don't know. But yeah, he actually came third on his team in terms of base XP, so he did pretty well for tier 7 and a tier 9 game, considering that's definitely his worst possible matchmaking. So let's go into the detailed report. 12 shots fired, 11 hits, and 11 penetrations. Pretty damn good ratio there. Like, I'm not going to complain about that in the slightest. I'm actually trying to remember what shot it was that I missed. Can't think of it at the moment. Let's see, 1,060 damage blocked, 612 damage with my assistance, that was thanks to the OHO, and 13,696 credits made after the deductions of the cost of running the vehicle. So, and also just to end off there, here is the statistic window showing that this was indeed my first game. One game, 100% win rate, 1,255 base XP, ace tanker. It's not too often you ace your tank on the first game you ever play in it, but I will say that's an incredibly low threshold for an ace tanker on a tier 9 vehicle. Like, I think to get an ace tanker on my Centurion 7-1, I think I needed a 1,450 base XP game in order to get an ace in that thing. So this was a remarkably low threshold for an ace tanker. So I have a feeling you can probably get a lot more out of this tank. That's probably just because people are playing this thing stock without going through the Chinese heavy tank line first, making it a lot more difficult to play. And what was the other vehicle that's really awful stock? Like the SD1 was actually a pretty easy vehicle to ace as well from my memory, because what was it? Oh yeah, people were playing at that point in time without realizing that the BL9 was unlockable from the IS-3. People were playing were playing the ST-1, a tier 9 heavy tank, with the IS the tier 7 heavy tank's gun. So a 175 pin gun on a tier 9, and people were playing it with that. So at that point in time, whenever I was playing that tank, it was remarkably easy to ace that thing as well. Because it's stock grind, if you're grinding with that gun, is just the worst I've ever come across. But yeah, not really too much else to say here. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. So, what do you guys think of the Chinese mediums? I personally like these vehicles quite a lot. I think they're interesting. They challenge you to play in a slightly different way to the way you normally play in World of Tanks. Like right now, I think the game is pretty much dominated by tanks dependent on gun depression, and it basically means that there's a bit less like thought involved in like how to actually play the different vehicles. So I feel like it makes it kind of interesting to play the Chinese mediums, like because they're so rarely seen. People don't know what to expect from them, and a lot of them get surprised by the alpha damage of these things. So yeah, I enjoy them for that reason. Like so, yeah. Um, Let me know what you guys think of them. I really don't know what the opinions are because they're so rare to see, and it's kind of similar with the Chinese tank destroyers. But yeah. So leave your comments in the comment section below. It doesn't have to be about the actual Chinese mediums themselves. It can be about something else. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.